Hello, everyone. Welcome to Featured Teachers, brought to you by the American TESOL Institute. I'm your host, Jason Levine, also known as Fluency MC, and I'm excited to introduce you to Nina English. That's her brand. She can introduce herself. She will introduce herself in a few moments. We'll bring her on. She is a friend and colleague, someone I've collaborated with several times over the years, but it's been a while since we had a chat, so it's really great. She's our featured teacher for the month of June, and we are going to be talking, as we always do, about her background and what she's doing, and it's just a chat, but we have a theme here. The best teachers teach from the heart, not from the book, which is something I will ask Nina, but it's something I remember like a catchphrase, a motto that she's been using for a long time. So she's a wonderfully experienced teacher, a wonderful person. Nina, welcome to Featured Teachers. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, hello, Jason. Long time no see. As you said, we haven't chatted for a while. Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm so honored to be here and doing this interview with you today.
It's our pleasure. When we started Featured Teachers, you were there on the list. I'm so glad we could figure out a time for you to be here. And yeah, it's been a long time, but I follow what you do as a teacher in social media. I'm sure there's a lot more happening than I see just in that superficial way, which is why you're here. So for people that don't know you, could you introduce yourself? Tell us a bit about your background, especially how you got into English language teaching.
Absolutely. So hello, everyone. I am Nina. I am from the second largest city in the Czech Republic in Central Europe. And I have been an English language teacher for the past 18 years as a freelancer. I never worked for as an employee for a school or for some institution. I have been running my own show. And for the past 12, 13 years, I've called my brand Nina English, because that's what most people called me back when I started my courses. And I am both an English teacher and language coach and a teacher trainer, mentor for other language teachers, something I developed recently because lots of teachers have been asking me about teaching without course books and freelancing at the same time as a woman, as a working mom. So I combine all that. So we work a lot. We talk a lot about work-life balance, just like I used to with my students.
That's fantastic. Yeah, we definitely want to hear about that. So what inspired you to start teaching? And was it always English language teaching? Was it something else you were doing, or?
Well, like many teachers, I never wanted to be a teacher. I come from a teacher's family, but maybe that that was something that I didn't want to do. As a kid, I didn't want to be like my parents, but look at me. However, they were school teachers, and I worked in a school for a little bit, but I admire all the teachers, all the school teachers. I know you do a lot of work, Jason, in schools, and it's a lot with the teenagers. I prefer working with adults and specifically women. Because I build on my own experience, how I learned English. I am not a native speaker, but I learned English the natural way, traveling, having visitors in our home, even during communism. That's an interesting story, maybe for another time.
Okay.
And I just love surrounding myself with international peoples. That's how I became interested in foreign languages. I studied other languages as well, but ended up teaching English because that's lingua franca, language number one. Absolutely. And everybody needs help with it. So
yeah, it's not about learning the language to be a tourist in the UK or get a job in the States, although those things can still happen, right? If it's being able to, it's like using a computer, it's something.
Everything, being it like most adults that work with me, they need it for their work. They want to get a better job, for example, or when they travel, they don't want to be dependent, and it's not just English-speaking countries,
Right,
anywhere.
absolutely.
They don't want to be dependent on their friends, their family members.
Yeah.
They want to enjoy their own time, and of course, everyone wants to understand music and movies and videos and all that. Podcasts these days, it's a big thing. So
yeah, and if they get into it, they want to understand them, and of course they can also learn from them. So it could be hopefully a very positive cycle, although some people get stuck there, and we need to help them, those that can, right? If they're motivated, they want to understand, and they're learning, then it just continues so nicely, right? Yeah, cool. So you said, and I know this about you, and it's amazing, really, when you think about it, you never worked for anybody else. It was always you on your own. Is that right?
Well, I don't know about other countries, but here in the Czech Republic, even when you work for a school, you usually get just a few hours here and there, and you still work as a freelancer. So, of course, at the very beginning, apart from having my own clients, I did work in a couple of schools, but only a few hours here and there.
But you were already working on your own, so that's So that's you began on your own, which is really interesting. And in terms of using published materials, course books, and other things, is that something you started doing and then realized you didn't want to do, or you also began on your own with your own stuff?
No, I actually had no idea how to teach, because, as I said, I never wanted to be a teacher.
Right.
I studied languages, but wanted to work for some international company, travel and have all these cool management jobs, maybe. And then at the very beginning, my very first job, where I lasted only 3 months because I didn't really like the company so much. A friend from school from uni called me and said, "Hey, I'm pregnant and I need help. I need to hand over some students." And I remembered that I'd like to. And I said, "But I'm not a teacher. I don't know how to do it." She said, "Here's the teacher's book and it's all there." So I had no training back then, and I had the teacher's book and the workbook and the student's book, and I kind of started figuring it out from the book, and then I started taking some courses with British Council and but I never felt like it was something that I enjoyed working with course books, and I saw that it wasn't really helping my students move forward. So about 5 years into it, I got rid of them completely, and I started my own courses, own projects, and that's how I got into this international community where I met you as well, and it's been wonderful from then on.
Wow, great. And when you decided you didn't want to use course books anymore, were you also coming up with ideas for things? You were excited about stuff that you were working on, or was it difficult because you didn't know really what you had? A lot of ideas.
That's how it started, getting rid of the course books, because I had too many great ideas. And I remember I really quit the course books when I realized at the end of the school year I was in unit 2 with my students because we did everything but the book. And we were doing so much great stuff. Usually, so I did have the copied materials that we all do, and thinking of games and stuff. And then after we finished the proper lesson, we used to go and watch a movie or go to a pub or go on a trip at the weekend, or we had cooking time with my international friends. And I realized that these are just genius ideas because I could see that they were learning and enjoying it so much more and progressing this way. So I thought, why not create courses based on these experiential lessons? And that's how I started.
Yeah, well, and I'm quite sure people watching this who haven't done that are thinking, wow, of course that makes so much sense. But is there anything about it that they should know that is challenging about it, or not as easy as it sounds, kind of thing?
I don't know, for me, because I love it. and I'm always in the flow when I do this. It feels easy, but for other people, it might feel quite overwhelming, especially if they're not extroverts like myself and they're not out there. Then they might think of more introverted ideas for their courses and lessons. And we're all different, and it's fine. You can still work without course books if you're not me, if you're not an extrovert like Jason, for example.
Oh yeah, I mean, working with our course books doesn't mean materials designed around activities in real life, which is a great thing. There's other things you can do too, but I mean,
do so many things. But the most important thing is not to be afraid to go deep inside. Maybe take a long evening walk or evening with a glass of wine. Just really go deep. And think about what you love, because when you start from who you are and your authentic self, that what you want to do, how you want your work to feel, then it's easy from there. So maybe going deep can be difficult at the beginning, especially if you're not used to it. If you're used to other people telling you what to do or looking in the course book and following the units. But I'm sure everyone's a little bit like dissatisfied or angry with this part of their work or this part of the lesson. True, or I used to hate gapful exercises, and I was like, how can I do it differently? So it can start, it can slowly build up, and it can be anything. You don't have to be doing crazy things like me.
and there's also, I mean, we're talking about how just the pedagogy side of what you do and how and with course books, but you also you have your own business, right? Is it just you? I mean, you started off obviously just you. Has it always been just you, or do you have people working with you or for you, or how does that work?
Okay, yes, absolutely. We can never do it by ourselves. Let's be honest. We need each other to help each other grow and build better projects, better courses, in our case as language teachers. So of course, I've been working with a lot of other teachers, but also people who are not teachers and help me with admin, invoicing, building a website, marketing, copywriting. Recently, I realized I need to improve my texts on my website. If you want to attract the right client who is really motivated and dedicated, you need to word it well. And I've been so fortunate to attract both absolutely amazing clients, but also my coworkers, my colleagues, for both my team, but not just my team, but people who just work with me, on this one project or another project. We do lots of things with other teachers.
And do you enjoy that part of it, or you realize you just have to do the business part in order to enjoy what you're doing with materials development and teaching? Or do you like wearing different hats?
I love wearing different hats. I would be bored if I was doing just one thing. And sometimes I feel like I prefer the teaching part, creating courses. That's my absolute favorite activity, to create course design, how to put it all together, who to offer it to. But then when I put it up on my website and I created a website that I love, it's colorful, and being there and doing the marketing side of things and networking side of things and just talking about my work like I am doing now, it just brings so much joy to my heart as well. So it's both entrepreneurship and teaching.
Yeah, that's the key, to have passion for all of it.
Yeah.
And looking at your website and looking at what you do, you obviously work with a lot of women learners.
Yes, I do.
And is that some exclusive thing you do? Because I know I can think of a couple other English teachers that really just focus on teaching to women learners. Is that, would you say it's exclusive? I mean,
not my overall business, because
okay.
I run courses for individual clients where it's for
I see.
both genders.
So for groups,
I run courses for kids. Mm-hmm. Again, both genders, okay. But these specific group courses, offline courses for women, are for women. I already said it.
And was that something that you sort of came up with as a strategy, or it just happened?
Came up with it. My students came up with it. The best, and so basically all my courses or all my services are created because of what my clients wanted. They're based on their needs, and I recommend all the teachers and all business people to do it. Just listen to your clients and what they need. So they came to me after. So the very first course I did without course books. It was for anyone, so both genders. But at the end of the course, the women from the group came to me and they said, Nina, we have something to ask you. We felt so much better whenever it was just us women. It happened that, there were no guys in the group. Maybe they were sick or on a business trip, or they were just women. The atmosphere is different, and we feel so much more at ease when we speak. We don't feel that we need to, be quite cautious about what we say. We feel that we can be vulnerable and cry and laugh and whatever, and we don't have to wear the perfect makeup, all that. Could you please try to build a group for women only?
And when was that? Just to get some context, what year was that? Approximately
2010.
Okay, so about 10 years ago, over 10 years ago.
12 years ago. Yeah. So I did, and I never went back. I tried one. Okay, I did try one group for guys, and
guys only.
Guys only. Okay. Guys only, and that was just too much testosterone for me. And I had other colleagues teach the group, and the guys loved it. But then when I promoted it second time, we didn't fill up the group. It was obvious that I should be teaching women, and I have been ever since. And I don't know how many, maybe 180 groups, 200 groups by now. I've taught, because obviously there were several there. I speak about this in the past tense, because all of that happened before COVID, and then after the pandemic. Now I will see, but during the pandemic we were online, of course, but it was minimized. So that's why I speak in past tense. So
right.
That's where it led me, and I'll see where it goes from now. I actually have a full day. Coming back to it a little bit because I miss it. I have a full day on Sunday with an international guest here, women only, full day with a group of women in my garden.
So is that the first time since the pandemic craziness? Yeah.
Yes, for students. For teachers, I've been doing something the whole 2-3 years. Also offline, because that's where my focus is now. But for students, yes, it's the first time, and I cannot wait. It always fills me up with so much joy from life in general.
Cool. And I want to talk to you about what you've been doing with teachers in a moment. But so how do most people that you teach, they find out about you different ways, like word of mouth or website and that kind of thing? And are they all local? I guess they'd have to be somewhat local, or if it's all in person.
Yeah, for the courses in Brno, of course, but I've had students coming from 200 kilometers away once a week, every single week. Once I did a summer course where we had it twice a week, and I had a lady coming twice a week, 100 kilometers, so 200 every time. 100 there, 100 back, and then in 2 days, same thing.
Amazing.
And that always just
Wow,
that's beyond
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
But yes, local, mainly local. And they find out about it from the people who have already taken the courses. It's always the best promotion,
Sure.
word of mouth. I would say 80% of people come because somebody else has been here. But I also have, of course, I'm active on social media. I have Instagram, Facebook page, YouTube channel. I write a blog. I send a newsletter. All of that we freelancers do to keep our business running.
Great. And is anything you do? I know you don't have any online only courses, right? Just it's all in person, or do you have things that people can do just online?
Not in the moment. I did during the pandemic. Yes, we had several groups for women.
Right.
But what I see now is that the type of students that I help with their English, they are people who want to meet offline. They're even willing to travel and come here to Brno, or I can come somewhere else. But they don't really want to be online because that's all they have been doing the past 2 years. And they want to be meeting in person again. And we have done courses online for women, but it's not the same thing. Yes, we cooked together. Yes, we danced together. We did all these experiential things in our living rooms, our kitchens, and there was a certain magic to it, of course. And we all had to survive this time, so we actually kept each other company. I had a course for evening time with a glass of wine, and the women appreciated it so much because they were just exhausted from helping the kids with online school and being the whole family all together. So they really appreciated it. But that's over now. So I'll see what I'm doing. But many of us from our community are staying online. The teachers I know from the community that I'm very active in, many of them are not going back offline because they're from smaller cities, smaller places, and they don't have so many people who could commute to them. So it's great that it happened for them.
Yeah, it is. So I mean, that's why I guess I was asking about the distance thing, because it's great if people can come from small towns, but you just said, like, people, some of them are just continuing online because it's easier for them to get business, I would think, right? If you're not in a central place. But do your students, that's interesting, but I want to go back to something I was going to ask you about online. Do the students who meet in person do anything online? Like, there's supporting materials or activities or things? So in between lessons, it's not like they're just with you this day, then in 2 days they're doing English practice with Nina English materials online, or?
I have a few materials, but I don't specialize in creating digital materials so much. I have some. I have educational videos. I have some worksheets and workbooks, but I'd say with me and the courses that I run, it's much more about them. I don't supply them with so much because each person is different. So I include a lot of language coaching principles and goal setting strategies, and then it's focused on each of the individual students, and they agree with themselves, basically, with my support, that they will be doing this or this or this or this, and each of them has a slightly different journey. However, every course has a private Facebook group. If we want to share something, either the students or the teachers, there are always several guest teachers in the course. So we communicate with the students also outside of the synchronous time that we learn together in the classroom or the city, because we go everywhere, or the pubs or parks, or dance studio or someone's home, the teachers' homes, the students' homes. We bake, we cook, we do all sorts of stuff. But in between, it's so important. It's absolutely crucial that they are doing something.
Sure.
So what we usually advise them to do is pair up with a study buddy from the group, or not even necessarily from the group, but it's the best way to have, to have somebody to talk to and be accountable to.
Is it ever unnatural for them because English isn't their first language? If you're not around or somebody's not around to create that atmosphere, would they'll do stuff in English, or
they will because from day number one, even before they enter the course, we communicate in English only.
Okay.
The first call, the first contact with me is partly in Czech, and then I switch to English because I want to hear their English.
Right.
We start at pre-intermediate level, so this is not for basic level students or beginners. We start at A2 level, and then they are able to communicate with me even on the phone. Maybe for some of them, it's for the first time on the phone.
Fantastic, yeah.
And then the email instructions, the Google documents, everything, the Facebook group, everything is in English. So when they, even very often, even before they enter, I hear them in the hall already speaking, even before the first lesson, speaking to each other in English, because I create the Facebook group before, about a week or 2 weeks before we start the course. And I ask them, I encourage them to introduce themselves, maybe make a video or post pictures, talk about themselves, so they would already know each other a little bit before they enter, to feel less afraid. You know how people can feel quite nervous about entering a new group of people, and it's this experiential course. What are we going to be doing there? I'm scared. So this way they feel much more comfortable with each other, and I feel it's my biggest accomplishment when I go to the toilet, or I go I forget something in my home. I live in the same building where I have my classroom. Maybe I could show you some pictures.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So I run something for something upstairs. I come back and they're still speaking English. So I create that environment. And very often they report to me in the following lesson that they kept talking to each other on the way to the tram stop or bus stop, or in the car. If they give each other a lift, for example, if they live in the same neighborhood, they keep speaking English. How cool is that?
It's super cool. Yeah, could you show us some pictures? Now they're getting curious.
Absolutely. Yeah, just to give you an idea, maybe that would be fun. So I have quite a few pictures from the groups here, so you can see. This is actually my historically second group.
So what year is this approximately again? Like just
2011.
Okay, 2011. Okay,
summer 2011, and this is why I look so much younger and I have short hair here. You remember me?
I remember. This is about around the time we met.
Yeah. Yes. So this is in my kitchen. This is overlooking the main square of Brno. This was a final lesson, so we had a party. You can see some drinks here. We drank a little bit of alcohol. You know, it always helps to speak English better, right?
That's a
and this
fact.
is overlooking the main square. One of the guest teachers on the course had a flat there, an American guy. So we invaded him. And it was always great to have lessons there. This is in my home. This is actually in my kitchen with another group. And this is in my classroom. And in the middle here, the lady with the thumbs up, that's actually one of my guest teachers, originally from Turkey. So I highly support non-native speakers as English teachers, because I myself am a non-native speaker, although I work with native speakers as well. why not work with a Turkish lady whose English is amazing,
Of course.
great education background, CELTA, qualified, everything. So this is without students. Yeah, this is my classroom. There is a garden. You can see in a bit. This is what it looks like with students. We often there's a screen on the wall because we often watch videos or Skype. Skype. I say Skype now. It's Zoom. Zoom with teachers and other students from around the world. For example, we had a great lesson Zooming with some kids from Malaysia, with Anita from Malaysia. You know Anita.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, we cooperate on different projects across the globe. Yeah.
So great. Yeah.
As you can see, they're often working in small groups. This is in my home. This is my living room. This is where I am right now.
Okay.
This is my workspace in the morning. And we eat a lot of food. This is from a weekend course, 20-hour intensive course. We eat a lot. We picnic a lot. This is in my kitchen again, preparing Turkish coffee because, again, the Turkish teacher. So we learn a lot about culture together with the topics, with the English topics. So this is in my garden. Again, in the garden. So people love to come in the summer, or this is a big event we have in a park. So we'll use the outside, another guest teacher. We use the city. Yeah, we take city walks and students have to show us around or show other international guests, or this is a group of tourists. This is a group of American tourists, and these ladies, they were at pre-intermediate level, and they did it.
Wow.
They were so scared, and they did it. The ladies loved them. Then they ended up sitting in a cafe, having cakes and coffee, they just.
Who's this? Where's this?
This is one of the pub lessons that is one of my favorite lessons, where I invite my international friends. And you can see there's guys as well. It's not just, the course is for women, but the teachers and the guests are men and women all together. And I invite people from different countries, and we just dive right into it. And people are scared at the beginning, but then after this lesson, which is actually the second lesson of the course, always, they tell me how surprised they were, how nice it was, how easy it was to speak with other people in English. And there goes their confidence skyrocketing. And when you do it in a cozy environment, with very friendly atmosphere, the energy is very high, and maybe there's a glass of wine as well. We are adults, we can talk about that. It's so easy in the end, and after 12 weeks or 15 weeks, they come out completely transformed, not just with their speaking skills, but their self-confidence. And we as women, we always need a confidence boost. So doing it over a nice glass of wine or a meal, and having a good time, maybe even playing some games like you do in school. See, we do have these flashcards or slips of paper sometimes, but it's in a cafe or in some cool bar. And then they feel much more relaxed because it's not in a classroom, it's school desks. There's music. This is one of my colleagues in the past. They put songs together and then they sang them. Incredible stuff. Shopping lesson. People go and have assignments, like you should wear something for a party or New Year's Eve or Christmas, and then you have to take a picture and then come back all together and describe your experience always speaking English with the shopping assistant. So they come back shocked, like, oh, the shopping assistants, they ran away from us when we were speaking English. So they self-reflect what it's like for a Czech person as well. We do, of course, Christmas parties and all sorts of Halloween parties. And this is dancing in my living room before we started renting out studios. But now we rent out studios, and baking with an Australian teacher. Always cooking is my favorite lesson, because I just sit and I watch the action happen.
Boy, there's so much language that can be practiced.
Yes, and I just write stuff on the board, and the guest teacher is helping them cook, helping with the recipe. This is the coffee again, and predicting the future, for fortune telling. From
nice.
coffee.
Nice.
Look, we have there's a dictionary. Look at this.
Okay.
There's a dictionary, and this is how you should, fortune tell when you are with a Turkish person.
Wow, very
They
cool.
love it. They love it. They come out with so many experiences, so they often want to come back. Yoga, we do yoga, meditation, guided meditation for their English journey. Makeup, we do makeup workshops. Yeah, women love that, and then they talk about everything connected to image and body. And here is a pottery class. You can see we do everything. Welding,
I can see.
creating jewelry. This was making jewelry with a British guest teacher.
Wow.
This is a great picture, which shows the women in a company, in a factory of hot air balloons, where the lady in the middle is working there and is telling us all about it. She's the student of the course. So she actually needs this for her international visitors, to take them around. So she's practicing with us, and we are so excited because she tells us all about production of hot air balloons.
Wow.
So you can see here the topics, and one important thing maybe for the teachers, elicit the topics from the clients, from the students, even if they're kids. Ask them what they want to do, and then put it together with your ideas. You can tell them, okay, I have some ideas, but what are your ideas? And they always have ideas.
Sure.
So we co-create the course, and that's what makes it even more intense, an intense experience for them. Of course,
a meaningful experience.
Well, can we talk? Sorry, go on.
No, I just wanted to make sure I asked you about teachers, because you mentioned earlier that for the last few years you've been focusing on working with teachers. You mentioned guest teachers. Is that where the connection came? I don't want to presume, maybe just tell me, are you doing teacher training now? Is that is that linked to the fact that you were bringing in these different teachers, or can you tell us about that?
Well, I have been working with the teachers on my team for years. It didn't really come from that so much, although a little bit. But what it actually started was all these women from different parts of the Czech Republic, Slovak Republic, and even from abroad, emailing me that they saw something on YouTube. They heard something from someone. They read my blog post. They saw pictures and videos on my social media, and they want to know how I do it and how I combine it with being a mom. I started receiving more and more of these requests for personal consultations with them. And I thought that we are all alone in this. Women always feel a bit lonely in everything. Freelancers always feel alone, especially if they're in small cities. So instead of giving only individual consultations, which I started about 3 years ago, I finally felt confident enough, experienced enough that I can pass this on, and and speak about it and help and give advice.
Right.
But I decided to create a community, a club for English language teachers,
Okay.
women only. Again, it's women only, who need to feel that they are part of something, who need a platform where they can both educate themselves and share their life stories and get support.
And this is in person, or this is online, or it's both?
This is I started preparing this before the pandemic happened.
Okay.
And then the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
So we started online, but we meet offline as well. Whenever it was possible, no more lockdown for 2 or 3 months, we would have an offline meeting.
And there are enough teachers in your area near Brno to...
It's not just my area. They come all the way, like they would travel 5 hours here, 5 hours back, just to be at that meeting.
Wow.
We just had a lady, a Czech teacher who resides in Edinburgh in Scotland, who came to my language teachers festival, to a conference I started organizing a month ago. She came and I was in tears.
Yeah, wow.
She met us for the first time, although she's been part of the community. Hi, Yitka. I hope you're watching this. I love you.
So do you see going forward this club developing in any certain way? How do you see it developing?
Well, we've been running it now for 2.5 years, and more people are interested, and more people are coming to join, because we don't just talk about teaching and methodology, how to teach without course books, how to go about language coaching. Language coaching is a big thing in my methodology. How to teach without materials, Dogme ELT, strong inspiration, Scott Thornbury. I love the no materials approach. So we do that, but we also invite business mentors and people from marketing and inspiring and successful entrepreneurs who share with us their stories, who share with us their tips, how their business grew, not just necessarily in language teaching, but all areas. And these teachers who are part of this community, they can learn so much on the way, both for methodology and freelancing, and at the same time, because we're all women, many of us have kids, at the same time also focus on work-life balance. So there are these 3 pillars that I believe are absolutely crucial for a freelance language teacher who happens to be a woman, childcare, all that. I know daddies do a lot these days as well, like you, but it's still a lot, especially in more traditional cultures like ours, it's still a lot on the woman. And we always have this fight and a feeling of guilt inside if we prefer to work instead of being with the kids. So we talk about all that, and it's so helpful. Feeling like, you can be growing together and you always have somebody to ask or to complain to, it is.
Wow, very cool, very cool. And do you to do this club, do you have, you're working with teachers, are there people helping you organize these things, or is this all on you?
Absolutely. Again, I couldn't do this alone. Yes, I am the creator and the main organizer and the main mentor, consultant, all of that. But I have wonderful, mainly from the community, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're working with these people and you're forming this kind of bond with them.
Of course. So one teacher is helping me put all the topics together that we discussed during the month and categorize them into units in the Facebook group. That's what you can do when you have a social learning group. Or put a report, because I send out a monthly report for those who maybe couldn't be on Facebook that month so much, or couldn't, because Facebook can be quite messy, the news feed. So maybe they didn't catch everything. So I put a monthly report together. So I have somebody who is very good at copywriting and is helping me. And I have people who help me organize the Language Teachers Festival. Of course, we can never do something just by ourselves. I always say stronger together. So big thanks to all the ladies that are helping me. Thank you so, so much. It means the world to me. I couldn't do this without you.
If a new teacher is watching, and we have a lot of new teachers who watch, or people who are training to be teachers, and they're thinking they might want to do something on their own, would you say just go ahead and do it, or would you say that maybe they should do something else first because it might be too difficult to start off on your own? What would your advice be?
Well, from what I have seen, what I have experienced in my life, what I have seen with the teachers working in my team on the courses that we run here, but also in the community of teachers, it's not a bad idea to start with a couple of language schools or agencies, or one or two, to supplement the lessons to you, because starting from the very beginning and stressing out so much about attracting enough clients.
Yeah, it takes time.
Never look for clients. We attract clients with our work, okay? Never go look for them. Don't chase them. Like women shouldn't chase men. You attract them. So, sorry.
It's good advice.
It is. So just be your best self, best teacher. Put out stuff on social media, put out stuff on your website, build a very, very simple website, or become a part of some catalog for teachers, like say that you're out there, and don't feel bad about starting with a teaching platform or an agency next to your private clients. And teachers always ask me, so where do I get my first private clients? Just tell people you're doing it. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell people on your personal profile on Facebook. Just say, hey, I am about to finish my training, or I have just finished my training, and I would like to offer you my time. And maybe say something like, okay, for the discounted price, because I'm starting, you can have these amazing lessons with me. Always speak positively about it, but here I am already giving it too much advice, unsolicited advice.
No, this is fantastic advice. I'm just thinking, if you do so much locally, which is wonderful, and you've talked about how people come locally, doesn't mean just right where you are, hundreds of kilometers away. But if people are watching, in different parts of the world, are there ways that they can collaborate with you? Or
always look at the pandemic. That's what we did, for 2 years. And,
but I mean, let's say the pandemic's over. Let's just say theoretically, you can continue in person. What if somebody's in Taiwan or in Argentina? Like, what if they can they be part of the club as a teacher?
Yes,
can they be a student of yours?
How does that work? We now have international teachers, and they don't necessarily have to be here. If it's okay for them to not come to the offline meetings, we have about around 4 to 6 offline meetings per year. So it's not that much to miss out on. And of course, it's always better in person. And we have some in-person workshops and courses and this conference. But now we started having international participants at the conference as well, the Language Teachers Festival. And because we are all on this platform, Facebook groups, anybody can join. So, and we actually want international teachers to join us more and more now, because we want international perspective.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We want to hear from other teachers what their struggles are, and from the interviews that I have been doing with international teachers, including yourself in the club, we can see that it's very similar everywhere around the world. Recently, we had an interview with a teacher from Malaysia who is also our club member. And we have American teachers joining our club. So it's international now. And we actually meet every month on Zoom for at least 2 hours to, meet each other at least on the screen to discuss whatever they want to discuss. And there's always like the main topic, for example, preparing for the low season. Now summer is coming. How do you prepare for the low season? So that already happened sometime in April. Yeah,
I see. Okay,
get ready for it. We have another one next Monday. Then we are meeting offline. So that month when we're meeting offline, we don't have an online meeting. But other than that, we always have an online meeting on Zoom, and anybody can join.
Wow, it's so great to see you doing so well, so busy, and helping so many people. Can you show us your website before we go?
Actually, yeah, sure. Just give me.
And the best way for people to contact you?
Best way to contact me is probably on my Facebook profile. So if you give me a second.
Sure, yeah. Don't worry, we're gonna cut this part out.
Yes, okay. The thing is that my website, I just hid the English translation of the website because
you're working on it.
Because I wasn't updating it.
We don't have to show it, and I can cut the part out where I said about the website.
I wouldn't be showing my website. What's much better to show is my Instagram. Can I show my Instagram? You know how it is. So I would show both Instagram for the club and for Nina English, because
if you could do those two things, and then we'll finish. I think
that's the most updated that I normally. Where is it? Here. Okay. All right. So am I sharing it yet?
Not yet.
Okay, here. Okay.
Okay, so I'll start talking first then. Okay, cool. So this is your Instagram for teachers or students? Or is it both?
This is my school. This is Nina English. Yeah. Okay. So this is the best place to contact me and see my work. And
great.
You can.
So if people message you there, that's also good. Like better than email.
You can message me there. So you can see my work here. I post a lot of stories and reels and posts, and this is for the teachers.
Okay.
In Czech, it's called Klub Lektorek, Teachers Club, of English. And here I have a lot of pictures here from our most recent meeting, the Language Teachers Festival. So you can see many of the teachers, not just from the club, but of course, you don't need to be a member of the club to attend our events. Yeah, you can always join at the offline events. It's always cheaper for the club members, of course. But we do a lot. As you can see, just like with the students, we go out, we take city walks, we have fun together. And this is to show you how we meet on Zoom.
Okay.
And these are people from all around the country and Slovakia. I see some Slovak ladies here as well. Yeah. So,
Awesome.
Yeah. The webinars, we have lots of webinars. There are at the moment around 60 webinars already recorded in the club on everything, everything teaching and freelancing and personal as well.
So if a woman is a teacher, and wherever she is, and she wants to join, the best thing is to message you on Instagram.
Yeah, that would probably be best, and I'll take her through.
And if they don't have Instagram or they don't use Instagram,
of course. If you don't have Instagram, you can find me on Facebook as well.
And if they don't use Meta.
If they don't use Meta, of course, they can message me they can email me
Okay.
Nina@ninaenglish.cz.
That's
My
easy.
website at the moment is in Czech only, but there is a contact form. Let me show you. I'm sharing now, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, it's coming up. So this is my website, and here is
so they can just go to Nina English
contact
and message.
Yeah, and you just write your name, email, and here is
nice. Thank you. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Nina, thanks a million for being here. That was really a great chat. Yeah, it's been too long, so I'm glad we did it. And I'm just thinking of things maybe in the future we could do. So I'll talk to you about that. But it'd be great to showcase more, kind of video or interviews of the things you've been doing, so people can see.
I would love to. I have so much to share.
Yeah, I know. So
I can talk about teaching kids without books online.
Yeah.
We have courses. I didn't even mention that.
Yeah,
we have online courses, offline courses for kids as well, and I'm sure that's very interesting for teachers. And it's something that's missing on the market outside of public schools, of course.
No, you're absolutely right.
There are not enough courses for kids whose English lessons at school aren't that great, and their parents want to invest.
Yeah.
And they don't know who to turn to. So I'd love to talk about that as well.
Yeah. Oh, I have a feeling we will be. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. All right. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks again. Yeah. Thank you so much, Nina. And thanks to the American TESOL Institute for doing Feature Teachers and giving me the privilege of hosting. We'll be back here next month for another edition of Feature Teachers. So wherever you are in the world, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
Take care. Love, yeah?
Yeah. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye-bye.